but he did go through a hot dog stage tricking us because of Mickey Mouse.
Hot dog, hot diggity dog. So he got into that, thought hot dogs were cool. Everything was cool about hot dogs until it was time to eat them. And then that's when he was out.
Yeah, but he'll ask for it. Do you want a hot dog? Yes. And then you give it to him and he's like, ooh, gross. Yeah.
So now you're getting the super caffeinated version of this podcast, the Daily Autism Podcast.
I'm awake, man.
Dude, this is different now.
I'm ready to go.
It's a little different. We're super caffeinated. We're charged up. I think I'm on cup 4. Yikes.
Yeah.
I got to cut down my coffee, man.
Oh, my gosh. You drink way more than half the pot.
I know.
I think I'm on my second cup.
I know,
and this is plenty.
I know. I just get amped up. I love coffee. Just love the way it tastes. But I do drink a lot of water. Not as much as, well,
You drink a gallon a day.
Not
which
quite.
is very hard.
Not quite a gallon. But yes, very close.
Yes, those big jugs that are labeled. You love it.
I love it. I've been doing that for years. It's really good for you. Helps you sleep too. Okay. So you wanted to jump on here because, autism and car rides, right?
Well, there's nothing worse than driving to school and he says, go back home.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, uh-oh.
Let's be honest, driving anywhere.
Yes. And then he says left, right, this way, that way. Anyways, I had to show him 3 videos of Lolo, his ABA therapist, saying she said today's Monday. It's time to go to school. He doesn't know what day it is, so it's fine. I'm like, do you want to watch it again? Yes. 3 times.
Yeah, huge, especially when you're all excited to go somewhere and you think he's excited and then you get in the car and as soon as you pull out, okay, go back home. Go home, go back home, and it's like, but we just are pulling out. Like we're just pulling out, and we can't go back home. Like we have somewhere to go. Oh no, go back home!
Oh,
and then it starts hitting the window. Go home, and I'm like, oh no, why? Like it's gonna be a great day. Like we're going somewhere fun.
Well, and you have to have the windows locked, the child safety lock on.
Oh, he'll start pulling. He's
still in like
doors.
what is it called? A 5-point harness or something?
Yep.
He'll be in that for a while.
Yeah.
No booster for him.
No. There are days I want to be in a 5-point harness. I'm scared of the world. I want to be in a 5-point harness to protect me from my fears.
Oh my gosh.
That's tough. And then it is cool too. Not cool, but it's weird. When he'll start saying go left, go right. And if you don't, he'll freak out.
I know. We talked about that before. It's very frustrating. Anyways, I wanted to talk about food.
Oh.
You know?
That was a quick departure from go back home to food.
Because it stresses me out.
Right.
I don't want to talk about that anymore.
Wait a minute. Why?
Because he's saying go right, and then you go right, and then he gets mad
I know.
That's not really where he wants to go.
I know.
He has it in his head where he's going.
But here's the thing, though. He tests us sometimes. He knows we're not going left or right. He knows it. But at the end of the day, he just wants to fight.
Or he'll say beach, and then he'll start giggling because it's like, no, we're not going to the beach.
Yeah, I know. And
he was doing that last night.
Yeah, he'll do it at times where he knows we're absolutely not going to the beach.
Yeah, and he thinks it's funny.
Or it's like, it's cold and rainy, and he'll go, pool. Cal, we're not getting into the pool. Like, give me a break,
I can't wait for the pool season, though, because that's something he started doing with this therapist every day. They would get in the pool. You know what's crazy is we're probably not in the pool only here in Florida, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months out of the year. Yeah, I was going to say 3 months.
It feels like years when you're not. Like, we haven't been in the pool in probably 2 months. It feels like it's been years since we've been in the pool. Years. I mean, it's like...
Well, last year, our kids even wore wetsuits and got in the pool.
Yeah. Well, our blood's thinned. I mean, living in Florida for 5 years. The first year we were in year round, and I still know people that get in their pool year round here. It just doesn't bother them.
Yeah,
but it's too
I
cold.
can't do it.
No, it's too cold.
So
now.
One thing with OT that I learned a while back
that is what OT?
Occupational therapy.
Yes,
is that he likes to be surrounded. So they had like a foam pit. So being in the water, the pool, he's surrounded by the water, and it's actually very good for him sensory wise.
Yeah. Well, and we talked about it before. A lot of autistic kids crave the water because of that. It's an insulating type of feeling. You know what I mean? They're getting that. What do we call it?
Stimulation.
Yes, the stimulation, and it's they feel comfortable. Because like they're on top of the water, yet their whole body there's like friction when you move in the water underneath, and so it kind of feels like they're surrounded. It almost feels like being, I would imagine, in a weighted blanket, right?
Yeah, which he never liked the weighted blanket, but every once in a while he will get underneath the couch cushions.
Yeah. Well,
He will take the whole couch apart.
Yeah. Well, and it's even like he would he'll take a bath over a shower all day.
Oh yeah.
But I've read that a lot of autistic kids would prefer a shower, just depending on
really?
Yeah, what they crave. It's just
well, they're all different.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just this is not like, diabetes or I don't know, name your ailment that are very similar. Like doctors specialize in certain things and they can pretty much tell you to a T what's going to happen, why it happened, how you'll get through it. When it comes to autism or anything on the spectrum, it's sort of like, well, this is a customized deal and we're just going to have to go, step by step here. There's not a, you know what I mean? There's not a one size. I keep saying one size fits all, but it's so true.
That's what I like to say too, because it's true.
Yeah. And we all, as humans, we want a one size fits all, don't we? It's simple. It's quick. It's easy. You're in and out.
Well,
one
it's
size
better
fits
just
all.
to know, what do I do? And it's like, here's what you do. Like he likes to be tickled. And that's another thing that OT told me. He likes to be tickled. He likes roughhousing, like wrestling and stuff.
Yeah.
And some kids just don't want to be touched.
No, and it's interesting though. He doesn't initiate it. He needs you to initiate it.
Yes.
Like he may crave it, but he doesn't go and try and get it from you. You have to do it to him. And then he likes it.
Well, and that's why I say, you want tickles?
Lift up your arm.
Yes.
And then he does it real slow and starts laughing because he knows what's coming.
He loves it.
Yeah.
But sometimes just that gets him stimulated enough that it's almost like getting energy out.
Yeah.
And
it's different days. He needs different types of stimulations and different amounts of the energy. And, so you had to pick the drop off. You just dropped him off. He didn't really want to go, but then he went okay.
He went okay. But then I'm like, the lady's holding his hand waiting for other kids. And I'm like, oh no, lady, you better get moving.
Get him in there.
You better get moving.
Get in there, lady.
I was like, oh gosh.
Seek cover immediately.
Yes.
Get in there. It's so fun. And that's the thing about special needs parents is like you just become this, like you're tapping into senses that you didn't know you had. Like you literally are like a weather forecaster. You could start seeing things before they happen.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, at any minute he can drop to the ground.
Yeah.
You better get moving.
Yeah, you start seeing it in your mind, don't you?
Oh my gosh, yes.
And then so pickup today could be, just spin the wheel. You just don't know. Spin the wheel. You don't know what you're going to get.
Well, I do pick him up early today for speech and ABA. And so when he's walking to the gate, you just don't know.
So he's getting picked up at noon?
2.
Okay.
Yeah. So he gets picked up early a couple days a week. So.
Okay. I thought, at one time there was noon pickups.
That's Friday.
Yeah. Geez, we
can't keep up with this.
This is unbelievable.
And I like to use a big paper calendar.
You are good at that.
And it's just full. I can't put stuff on my phone.
What is that noise? Something keeps dropping. Is that Trey?
Dropping? The washer?
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah, it's the washer.
Yeah.
Yeah, one kid's home today with a stomachache.
Yeah. It's always something. What day is it? Where are we?
Anyway, stomachache, food.
All right. Yeah. Oh, you want to talk about food? Speaking of stomachache, so you want to talk about food, autism, and food.
Yeah. Cal is a carb kid. He Uncrustables, pizza, mac and cheese, waffles, pancakes. It's a handful of things that he eats, and that's what he eats. And there was like an Uncrustable shortage recently.
I know.
Gosh, I'm like, please no.
Because
if you make him a peanut butter and jelly, he doesn't want it.
Nope.
Yeah, he likes Uncrustables.
No, he will eat peanut butter toast. I did yesterday have to make 3 different versions before he ate it. First it was the regular toast, and I gave it to him with peanut butter. Help me, help me, help me, no, help me, no. Okay. Oh, I was like, okay, you want to cut up in little pieces. I do that. No, help me, no. Oh, that's right. Now you want it you want it folded in half and then cut in half. And then he loved it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You just don't know.
I mean, it's like...
And he tries to tell you, and we have to guess.
Yeah.
He wants it a certain way.
Yeah. So...
Anyways, he doesn't eat meat.
We've snuck it in there a couple times.
Well, so he just started eating chicken nuggets, which is a huge victory.
But you can't say chicken. You have to say nuggets.
Yes, because we figured out a chicken is a chicken.
He likes chickens. They're friendly animals. And in a lot of his videos on YouTube or whatever, and even on some of the shows, they'll show a chicken as like a farm animal. That's, they're a nice animal.
Yeah.
And so when we said, eat chicken nuggets, you could see his eyes like jump up and go, no, this isn't a chicken.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is, but I'm not going to eat a chicken.
Yes, which makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yes.
So we've had to learn to call them nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
And that took, this isn't something we figured out in a week.
This took a good year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, okay, he won't eat meat. Okay, fine. He will eat raw broccoli. He'll eat broccoli in any form, which actually has a lot of protein.
Yeah. Broccoli, yeah. And it actually has more protein per gram than steak.
Which is incredible.
Incredible. I mean, we eat a lot of broccoli.
Yeah.
Broccoli is so good for you. I could eat that every day.
Yeah, you dip it in mustard.
I do dip it in mustard.
I haven't tried that.
Oh, so good. Mustard really is good. I can eat mustard. Sometimes I just eat mustard. Like I'll just put it on a tablespoon.
I know.
It's vinegary. I like the vinegar.
Yeah, so broccoli, he loves broccoli. He eats fruits and vegetables, will really not eat like ground beef or anything, but he did go through a hot dog stage tricking us because of Mickey Mouse.
Hot dog, hot diggity dog. So he got into that and thought hot dogs were cool. Everything was cool about hot dogs until it was time to eat them. And then that's when he was out.
Yeah, but he'll ask for it. Do you want a hot dog? Yes.
Yes.
And then you give it to him, and he's like, ooh, gross, yuck.
Yeah, that's his new thing is gross. Oh, gross. Yeah, it's interesting. Like the broccoli, I go back to that because he will eat broccoli. You could saute it. You can
steam it.
You can bake it. You can give it to him raw, and he will eat it. And he also, I haven't seen him do this as much recently, but he went through a phase where he was dipping it in hummus, which was
he
really
will eat
good.
hummus.
Yeah,
he'll actually eat it by the spoonful if you let him.
Same with peanut butter.
Yep.
He'll
Yeah.
do those spoonfuls of hummus. I really like to give him the hummus, because the
chickpeas.
the chickpeas. You can't keep him on this diet forever. I mean, it's just
We do try to add new foods in, and I actually went to a food therapist through Johns Hopkins, and they told me how to introduce different foods, and just him putting different foods up to his mouth is like a big deal, which he just did that recently with something, I forget.
That's how the nuggets thing started too. He was taking the nuggets. We spent many a night like having a couple of beers trying to figure out why he wouldn't eat the nugget, but he would take it and kind of smell it. He would also press the nuggets to his face and then put them on top of his head. Remember?
Yeah.
And it was like he's doing everything else except eating it. And we just kept going and going and going. And finally, we just started. One of us said, maybe it's the chicken thing.
Yeah.
And so we just went with nugget. And I'll never forget the first day. It wasn't even like a big moment. He just grabbed it and started eating it. And we were like, shh, don't say anything. Nobody say a word.
We did.
Everybody shut up.
We're like, look.
And I think he ate like 3 of them that day, his first time.
He did.
And since then, he's had several instances where he's powered through 3, 4, or 5 nuggets. But you just have to be careful not to say chicken.
Well,
that changes
yesterday I gave him bagel bites with pepperoni.
Ooh.
And he will pick the pepperoni off and eat it. But if I tried to give him a piece of pepperoni, he's not going to eat it.
No, it
looks different,
Yeah, it really is crazy. And then, pizza, he went through this phase. Well, first off, he loves pizza. Probably his favorite food.
Oh, yeah, he's in a pizza phase.
Yeah, but, you started off with like the microwavable, like the Totinos.
Which has no crust, and it's like $1.
It's gross, right? Like
he loved it.
He loved it. So we're like, well, we're not going to mess with that. Well, as he's gotten older, excuse me.
And we're ordering delivery.
Yeah, because the other kids, they're not going to eat those things.
No.
So, we're getting like, pizzas delivered from pizzerias, like local pizza places. Well, he's slowly gotten into that. And so now when you give him a Totino's
he
pizza,
won't eat it now.
He goes, I want yummy pizza.
Which means he wants crust.
It means he wants the delivery pizza.
Yeah.
The better quality pizza. Better quality.
I just got, Brick House or something. I don't know. There's frozen pizzas now I buy, but they have crust.
Yeah, there's some good ones out there, like frozen ones. The one from Aldi, I think that you got, is the kids really like that.
Oh, the take and bake, yeah.
Yeah, and it's huge, by the way.
Yeah, it is huge.
I don't eat pizza, but if I did, I would eat that pizza. That pizza's good. It looks good. It smells good.
Well, I wanted to say the bagel bites, the pepperoni. Like yesterday, I wanted to say that's pepperoni. Because then I would like introduce other pepperoni, but I'm scared to.
I know.
Because then I don't want him not to eat it.
This is the thing. Once you conquer land, there's that old saying, I don't want to fight over land I've already conquered. It's like,
yeah.
But you also have to be careful with that because then you can get very stale and really not make any progress. But my God, once you get to a point where it's like, oh my gosh, there's no arguments. There's no meltdowns. There's no backlash. You're like, I'm really happy in this place. But then you realize like you just can't eat Uncrustables, pizza, and Funyuns for the rest of your life. Like at some point, we've got to move on. He will eat blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and bananas.
Yeah, he won't try grapes or any of that.
No.
You know?
And that's fine, actually. But,
Well, because it's choking hazards.
Yeah.
But anyways, I feel like there's a lot of people that don't understand autism. So then they try to help you. So they're like, do a gluten-free diet, do a dairy-free diet. And I'm like, I can't give him gluten-free waffles. Like, if I change the brand of waffles, he knows. You know what I mean? Let alone completely different flour. I mean, he knows.
So I go back and forth on this eating and food therapists and everything, all the advice. And here's what I'll say. And I know it's, I guess, somewhat controversial. I don't care. You know, it's like we're the ones that wake up in the house. We have to do what we have to do for our kids. But I understand, like, here's the thing. A gluten-free diet is probably just good for everybody, right?
Yeah, I like to eat gluten-free.
Sure.
And I think when you say that, it would help his gut.
It would help everybody's gut, right?
Yes.
You just, if you could eat gluten-free, you should probably do it because gluten overall probably doesn't have a lot of benefits. Whatever. It probably causes more harm than good. Okay. What are some of the other diets?
Dairy-free.
Okay, dairy-free. Yes, it's not the old days anymore where the only way you could get calcium was through, milk or cheese. Now there's a lot of other places to get calcium. There's several vegetables. You can get just as much calcium. So yes, if you can eat a dairy-free diet, just do it, right?
He doesn't really eat a lot
What are
of
the
dairy.
other ones? There's a couple of other.
Well, that's the only ones that I hear people talk about. But then I hear people talk about oils and
yeah,
stuff
but there's like
that,
a low acidic or a high acidic. There's all these things. But my point is,
But
yes,
with autism, I do hear dairy-free, gluten-free.
Yeah,
but you can't change his diet at this age. There's no way.
And
he eats all gluten. I mean, with fruits and vegetables also.
Yeah, we don't say we really want to give this kid gluten. It's just what he happens to love.
Yeah, mac
and
and
tolerate,
cheese, pizza, all that.
Chex Mix. I mean, he loves Chex Mix.
Yeah.
That's just a bag of gluten. They should call it gluten mix.
He loves it because he loves the flavor.
The crunches
he loves.
too.
There's some, and they do ask you like, does he eat soft foods? Does he eat crunchy foods? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's all part of it.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying at one point it wouldn't be good to try to introduce some of those things. Like if Chex Mix. I mean, they could never do this, but if they were like, "Hey, we've got gluten-free Chex Mix," sure, we'd try it. Why not? I mean, that'd probably be a good thing. But it's just you have to be reasonable. So many people want to find the quote-unquote cure for autism, right? Like,
right.
Oh, this will bring him back, or this will bring him out of the fog, or this will make the flapping go away. And it's like, listen. First off, and we talked about this in another podcast episode. There are a lot of things out there that target special needs families because they feel like special needs families are desperate. And to some point, we sort of are. At some point, we're tired. We are frustrated. But, a lot of these things are just trying to make money. They're just trying to make money and sell you something to give you some hope. That doesn't mean it doesn't work. It doesn't mean that there's not some positives to it. And when I say it doesn't work, I should say it doesn't work to a certain extent. The point is of all this research, you're talking about billions of dollars a year in autism, okay? We talk with so many therapists, pediatricians, behavioral technicians, you just name it, we talk to it, right? Just like a lot of special needs families. No one has ever said, oh, yeah, you give them a gluten-free diet and these problems go away. It just doesn't exist.
No, and most are super picky about food.
Yeah.
I mean, when we go out to eat, I bring his food. He does not order off the menu. I try, but he does not eat stuff off the menu.
Because it's a first-time thing, and usually a first-time thing is not going to go well. Or he's just very curious, and it's very mysterious to him. So he'll spend more time going through the textures of it in his fingers or kind of looking at it or playing with the food as his head, for whatever reason, is kind of his. When there's something new, a new texture, he rubs it on his head, and it's strange, but that's kind of where he starts to kind of experiment with it.
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
Like new foods go on his head. Like sometimes his head
yogurt
looks like
or peanut butter.
I mean, I remember
hummus.
applesauce or hummus. I mean, he'll take something, he'll kind of rub it on his head. So I think he wants to feel. It because that presses the food against his hand, because he's pressing it on his head. but he also likes, I don't know, he's very like, if you say, hey, Cal, let me give you a kiss, sometimes he'll just give you the top of his head. It's just his, I don't know what it is, honestly. But I know that not eating bread is not going to fix that. I mean, it's just, that's crazy. I mean, that's crazy to me.
No, I know.
But I think it's, but on the flip side, yes, eating gluten-free has some very good aspects of it. I just know it does, and it's fine. You just have to be careful how you articulate it to people of, oh, well, if you go gluten-free, this is all going to go away. I mean, that's just not true. I mean, I don't believe it. I'm sorry.
Right. So with putting stuff on his head, his ABA therapist has had to work with me and him to be able to wash his hair.
Yeah.
Okay. So now he's to the point you can wash his hair. It's fine. But you talk about haircuts. I've been doing hair for 20 years, and he is the hardest client I've ever had in my whole life.
Yeah.
It's awful.
This could be another podcast, but yes. I showed you yesterday. There's actually hair studios, hair salons opening now just for special needs.
I believe it.
Because it is there was one just opened in Philadelphia. Just because it is, it's maybe a half a day event. Honestly, if you want to get the whole haircut, like the whole head, it is maybe a half a day because you have to go in like little periods. You know what I mean? You can't. It just doesn't happen all at once.
No, and she's been working with me on it. She's been there for his last 2 haircuts, and we started the last one, and I literally cried at the end. And you in the middle of it were like, "Do we seriously have to do this?" And I'm like, his head is half of it's cut and half of it's not, and he is school.
Well, I
mean, it's getting ready for school.
No.
So now I basically cut his hair twice a year, so I grow it out and then cut it. It's traumatizing for me.
Well, that's why I said I don't care. Half his hair's cut. I don't care. This whole house was
awful.
This house was in full trauma alert that day. That was a tough day. It was tough for you. It was really tough for him. I think even his therapist was getting a little like, this went worse than expected.
Well, and his hair's getting pretty long, but I'm just going to keep growing
I love it. I think he looks so good with long hair. I love it.
Well, I could just shave his head, but I don't want to.
See, I don't.
Because he looks cute with long hair.
Yeah. I love it when he wakes up in the morning and he's got that long hair little kid bed head.
Yeah.
He looks so cute.
And he doesn't want his hair brushed either.
No, and he likes his hair. Like I said, he uses it for his textures and stuff. I almost wonder, this is a total guess, right? Like, who knows? I almost wonder if when you cut the hair, if he gets upset because he uses his hair for the textures to like press it against his hair.
It could be.
I wonder if it makes him sad, like that. Like he needs it. Like I rely on my hair for that to evaluate things. Oh, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I mean, it just is the kind of thing where we don't know, and that's why I go back to the gluten and the dairy free and everything. It's like, look, we don't know. We've talked to the therapist. We've talked to just everybody, and they all say the same thing. Hey, give it a try. See if it helps. Give it a try. But it's just kind of like, but it's not like they're saying, hey, you could take some big steps forward if you did it. They don't say that. They just say, give it a try. Who says it works? Well, the sales reps of these certain companies say it works. You know what I mean? Like the what are those what are those people called that sell these things? Like whatever they're called. They sell these products, and they're like, well, buy, like the pyramid kind of things.
Oh yeah.
I'm selling this line of gluten-free food, and if you buy this, and then sell it to your other special needs families and stuff. And it's like, I don't want to do that. It's not proven. Yes, I think eating this way could be healthy and everything like that, but it's just not something that it wouldn't be worth going through because it would put him in a daily, like, I also think too, when people say that stuff, it's like, okay, you really don't understand special needs. Because if you think we're just going to flip the script and go with this new diet, like, do you understand what his life is going to be like for weeks or months? He's going to hate eating. He may stop eating.
Yeah.
Scream and cry, and so.
Too much goes into it. Even we were talking about if he asks for pizza in the morning, you give him pizza.
Yeah. And yes. And the reason that will come off to a lot of people is, oh, well, you guys are just lazy and you're giving up. Well, again, we've talked to a lot of therapists and stuff, and they're like, no, at this age, because he's still, again, he's 4.5, but he's operating as he's around 2.
Yes.
And they were like, if you continually don't give him things that he expresses, he could eventually say, you know what? Every time I talk to these other people and I try to express myself, they never acknowledge me or they don't give it to me. So I'm just going to stop. and I'll just talk to myself inside my head. And then he may not talk anymore, or he may
Right.
stop. He may stop accelerating, and growing and developing.
And that's scary for us.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, so I'd rather, again, it's not healthy to eat Funyuns for breakfast, and we eat healthy. We really do. And we do give him the vegetables and the berries and stuff like that. But it comes with these other really weird, strange foods at strange times. And we just have to cope with that so that it keeps developing and keeps going. I hope at some point it's not Funyuns for breakfast. But for now, if that's what it is, then we have to do that so that other things continue to go in a good direction.
Yeah.
We just have to put
you
up
choose
with
your battles, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you evaluate your risks. If I were to do this for this long, this could happen. But if I do all of this stuff, oh boy, this could happen. It's like, no, I could live with this. It's just the stuff you could live with.
Yeah, there was one point that his therapist made a board of different foods, and he got to pick what he wanted. So it kind of goes back to that.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to pick.
And things come and go. Like, gosh, he was on that ice cream cone kick for 6-7 months.
Yes.
He wanted an ice cream cone every day.
Yeah, and he's not unhealthy. He's...
No, by the way, he has a huge appetite.
Yeah, but he exercises.
Yeah.
He gets his walks in.
Well, like his favorite place is the beach, so now you're getting mom guilt because we're talking about all that. And you're
Well,
like, I don't want people to think he just eats Funyuns all day.
I'm like, he's not overweight.
I don't know. Whatever. We don't know. I don't know what he is. He's him.
Perfect.
He is the most unbelievable creature on earth. And it's really cool. He's a creature, man. And I think it's super cool. I don't know.
He's one of the happiest guys you'll meet. He's super happy. And the stuff that makes him happy is crazy, Yeah. Like, he's like, you're drinking your coffee or whatever, and he's like, drink. He wants you to drink, and he flaps, and he gets excited.
Yeah,
it's cute.
Yeah, like last night I was having, buffalo wings.
Yep.
And he was like, Daddy, eat your wing. Eat your wing. And then he looks at, like, eyes open, like, please eat your wing. So I would take a little bite out of my buffalo wing, and he went crazy. He was so happy.
He doesn't know it's a chicken wing.
No, we call it a wing. Yeah, a wing. And I've tried to give it to him before, and he stares at it, and then he goes, no.
I know. He's
I'm like,
funny.
all right. Well,
and runs away.
At least you thought about it.
All right.
Yeah, the food thing is strange. It's different. It's hard. All I can tell people, it's just us. Many people don't care what we have to say, and that's fine too. But we really stopped taking a lot of that food advice and just said, the reality is most people are trying to sell you something. But then there are other people who are really trying to help based on some, good studies and stuff.
I know.
But if it doesn't work for you, you have to look at the whole thing. Like maybe somebody at a 2-year-old stage, you don't need to go gluten-free or dairy-free. If you want to pull back on something and substitute with something, just give it a shot. I think that's awesome. We experiment a lot. We do a lot of experiments. But at the same time, it's not like we figured it out. If he goes gluten-free, we're out of the woods. And we're never there. We don't think like that.
No, because we're living it.
Yeah, that's just not. It's just not real.
Yeah,
it's not real. It doesn't feel real.
All right, I gotta go.
You gotta go. All right, you gotta go. All right, we're out. We'll put the Oh, we didn't talk about an article today. Put up the. Oh, that was the last podcast we did. I did put up a link to that screen time, autism screen time, and video game addiction and melatonin story. That was the podcast right before this. I think that was number 5, and I think this is
when I was
6.
still sleeping.
Yeah, you were still sleeping. Good job waking up.